Welcome back, everyone, to the best podcast in New York. This episode of the Assassin Cast is for the week of April 16th. I got it. I got it right. I'm Jeremy Malaspina, accompanied by the one and only Dan McCarthy. And we got coming up. This is what we got coming up. We got the Deadpool 2 final trailer. We have the Equalizer 2. It's weird, two movies with two in it. With Denzel Washington. We have also some stuff about Amazon and their Prime members. We also have some sad news about Verne Troyer passing away. We'll talk about that later on. We also have some Jurassic Park: The Fallen Kingdom. And apparently it was an announcement, but we both have heard trailers. I mean, you were just saying from a while back you heard something.
Yeah.
I just heard it listening to a podcast the other day. So that's for movies, and then in gaming we got a New York Times article about the douchebag Billy Mitchell. I can't wait to do that one. That one's gonna be fucking fun. Oh my god, we're gonna rip him a new one. We also have ESRB expanding the rating system. They're talking about in-game purchases, which is a good thing to touch on. We got my GameStop terrible customer service story that just happened. We'll get into that later. And we're going to follow up with Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And we'll get into that also. So before we get started, anything new in your world?
Same shit, different day, dude. They all know how it is.
I know.
Grinding it out, as we all are.
I'm just happy we're not fucking doing this on Monday. Because
Yeah, that's the best part.
That would be shot. I really forced that last one out. I don't even know how it did really, but I'll look at it later. But yeah, nothing going on too much with me either. You know, it's just another fucking day in the neighborhood apparently.
Yep, getting closer to our blockbuster movie time, so that's where we'll start seeing more and more trailers. All the movies waiting for Infinity Wars, stuff like that.
That's
Finally
right.
Start getting warm out. It'll be good.
Yeah, I mean,
It's good.
Infinity
I like
War.
when these movies come out.
Infinity War's around the corner. What else was there that's coming up? Slipping my mind. But we got something else coming around the corner, so we're good. We're gonna probably have some updates. Maybe a review coming soon. That'd be good. Speaking of updates, we'll get started here. We got Deadpool 2 final trailer. Final thoughts on this final trailer. You could take it off if you want.
No, yeah, man, I'm pumped. I remember when it first came out, the first one, I was hesitant, but I had so much great feedback from other people that saw it, and then like I said, I was taken away with how I thought it was that good. I just thought it was finally one of them that was like over the top. The gore, not even so much, just more the humor to it. It was really funny. Guys like teabagging people as he's killing them. It's like the stupidest shit, but funny. And now they're just, they're piggybacking right on that right at the right time.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's like, honestly, from what I saw in that trailer, I was dying. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And then we had our first internet troll of the week on that comment, which was funny as fuck. And I'm just thinking, like, we shouldn't rip these guys a new asshole. They're entitled to their opinions, but it was like, he straight up was like, oh, yeah, you're easy to please. I'm like, have you seen this fucking podcast? Like,
hey, right? Hey, Ted from New Jersey, fuck yourself.
Yeah, like, come on.
Next question.
Get the fuck out of here with that. But for the trailer, though, it was funny. Even we were just talking about the guy Pete flying out the plane. That shit made my day. I was like, man, this is gonna be awesome. It's like comedic relief that we need from the Marvel fucking universe right now. So it looks great. I can't wait to see it, and we'll definitely do an update once that shit comes out, because I'm sure we're both gonna see it.
Hey, I think a lot of it too. I hope it wasn't. How sometimes you see a trailer and that's all the funny stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Like, I'm always like cautiously optimistic. I guess I would say it looks great. It really does. But then I'm always in the back of my brain worried, like, oh no, like the greatest punchlines of the movie I saw on the trailer. So then I'm kind of like, what? But again, they didn't do that in the first one. So a lot of that Logan stuff they made fun of, which I'm always a fan of. So
yeah, definitely. I have a feeling that that's not all of it. You know what I mean?
No,
like, the first trailer, they kind of gave you some funny stuff. Then the second trailer was more like the action side of it. And then the third trailer was a good mix of both. It was like they were flying around, jumping out of a fucking plane. It looks great. It looks like it's gonna be something good. So
I think
and
Brolin's gonna be good as Cable too. So
oh yeah, and that was funny. He threw a jab at him, saying like, calm down, Thanos. And I was like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that's
I
right.
told you, man.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we got some good shit coming from Marvel right now. And it's funny. I've been seeing a lot of articles talking shit about what's gonna happen after these movies.
Why do
Like
they care?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's just good things
So
to
much money.
read. It's most of the
I ain't
time
worried
it's
about it.
it's not good for me to read, I guess, but it's
Uh-huh.
clickbait. They want you to click it like, "Oh, what's going to happen with Marvel?" Like nobody fucking knows. They haven't even released anything. They're not
Yeah.
going to tell you what's up next because we're going to have to see how Infinity War pans out, and obviously Deadpool's on a separate playing field. So, we'll see what happens with that too. Apparently
They're
they
like
got
locked up till 2021. I'm sure
Oh
the
yeah.
studio's not worried.
I think they're in their fourth installment of Marvel movies for the actual MCU, and that Deadpool side stuff, you know, maybe that's why they're
Yeah.
pushing back the X-Men. There were a lot of other characters in Deadpool, so we'll see how it all links together.
We'll just get rid of it.
So that's it for Deadpool, but we're looking forward to it, so that's good. You got a
Absolutely.
big fucking thumbs up from us here at the Assassin Cast.
You know it.
So yeah, 2 thumbs up. All right, so next up, I'm so happy this fucking hit the list because when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, yes, this is a fucking awesome. The Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington was an announcement and it was accompanied by a trailer. And the
Hmm.
trailer was fucking badass. Badass. It's the same director from the first Equalizer. Forget his name.
I think it's
Uh,
Mario something.
yeah, he's a black dude.
Hmm.
He actually did the first one, and him and Denzel Washington together, they make a good team. They both bounce ideas off of each other. They both tell each other how this character should be portrayed. And in this movie, he's coming for revenge. He's like out to get them. From what I saw, I think it's like the storyline is one of his friends that he knows. Um, she gets killed, and he's not stopping till he kills every single fucking person
It was the
that had.
CIA director,
Yeah,
or that he
yeah,
knew for the first one. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, and he's not stopping till he kills everybody. So I mean, just from what I saw, the disguises, the way he fucking carries himself, it's gonna look great. It's gonna look
It's a
fucking
good action movie, in my opinion. That's what it is. Like you're not going that to be brought to tears or to fucking start chalking them up for an Oscar. And I hope people that watch this and listen to this know that when we critique
great.
movies, like that movie is just for what it's there to be, an
Mm-hmm.
action fucking packed movie. That's what I like. It's not a fucking Fast and the Furious or some dog shit movie like that I
Mm-hmm.
can't stand. I like stuff like this, and I thought it was a good little take making him like that badass in the first one.
Yeah, I
And now you
mean,
just playing off on it again. I mean, you can't do like 5 of them, which I hope they
nah.
don't. But yeah, you could probably do 3, find a way to wheel and deal.
Yeah, I think they could squeeze a third one out of it if they did it
Yeah, but
right.
we're waiting to see how this one looks, and I'll go from there. But like from what we saw, it's a lot of action, and that you can't ask for much more than that. It's the same
Nah.
thing. It's a Mission Impossible, except you got Denzel. It's like the same concept.
Yeah,
It's just yeah, I like it.
pretty much. You got it. You hit the nail right on the head with that. It's exactly like that. And I think just the way he carries just the way he carries that character and the
Hmm.
way he moves and does his thing, it's awesome. It definitely looks
He's a
great.
good role. It's like American Gangster. I never would have thought he would have been good in that. I thought that was a great flick where he's
Yeah,
playing like that. You know?
absolutely. I mean, even his whole track sheet is good. There's a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
good movies that he did. Even the B movies he was in are
You know
really
what
good.
movie he won an Oscar for?
What?
There's only one movie. He played a bad guy in it too.
Oh, Training Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. The only
that's
movie he
right.
won an Oscar for. He's
Wow,
been in
that's
a lot of
amazing.
movies.
That's amazing. That's a great movie too. So that's
Yep.
what I'm saying. Like, his track
He does
record
well.
on movies are great. So obviously he's not gonna be in a movie that's gonna be shit.
Hmm.
And even in that movie when he was the train conductor, what was that? Pelham,
With
Pelham one
uh
two three or whatever the fuck it
yeah,
is.
the one with John Travolta.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was a good flick too.
yeah.
He
And
does
like,
well. Like I said, he could do either role. I mean, I remember him way back when he was in a movie Glory about the Civil War. Go back and watch
Glory.
that movie. It's crazy. It's got
Was it?
him, Morgan Freeman. It's old. Yeah, Matthew Broderick. It's
Hmm.
about the first African American what's it called? Like group that would be fighting in the Civil War. It's an old time movie. I'm sure people that are even watching or listening to this have never fucking even watched
Probably
it.
have no idea.
Well, before your time, there, youngsters.
Yeah, but you know what? Fuck it. If it's coming from Dan, it's got to be
Zelda.
a good movie. Yeah, beating Zelda with the amniotic fluid on it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite lines from the podcast. All right, so we're excited to see Denzel
definitely.
Washington in that movie. I'm really hyped up for it. So far, I mean, I saw the announcement, but there was a date, and I didn't write it down. So next podcast, we'll give you the date when that's coming, so you guys could keep an eye out for it.
Or you could Google it the next 7 days. But I mean, hey, it's whatever's quicker for you guys out there, you know? If
Yeah,
you want to
whatever.
fucking type it into your computer.
If you don't want to wait the 7 days, and yeah, you might as well fucking Google it. I mean, you might as well, because you can see the trailer also. So
yeah,
you
definitely.
should definitely do that. All right, so moving on, we have Amazon. Now, this was an interesting topic that hit the list. All right, it's actually kind of funny, and it's Amazon is only allowing their Prime members to purchase Marvel and Star Wars movies. I mean, pretty much anything Disney. So that includes even like the Disney movies with the cartoon movies. That's what I meant to say. And I wrote, is this a power move? Fuck yeah, it's a fucking power move. Hell yeah. And it's funny because when I was reading this article, I have it attached to our topic list. I don't know if you checked it out, but you read this article and it's like, it's pretty much like this. It's like if you want to even, it's not even for Amazon Prime where you're watching the streamed movies. They're talking like if you're going on Amazon to buy the DVD or the Blu-ray, you're not going to be able to do it if you're not a Prime member. They will not allow you to buy that movie. Sorry. It's obviously a power move. They want people to sign up to their Prime. It's like a one-time fee of $200, or you can pay $11 a month. And to be honest, I'm sure both of us already have Prime. I know I do.
I do. Yeah,
and
I do.
I'm sure people that are listening to us have Prime. You know, no, everybody and their mother are gonna have it because you get some sort of
why
deal.
they just don't fucking make it like cut the price and whatever they have to cut it to, and just make everybody have to pay to use their services.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Just make one blanket. Hey, it's $40 a year for everybody, and if you use it, that's everybody will get their shit shipped in 2 days. Blah blah blah. Like, why is there even the fucking difference between the Prime and the regular?
Well, the whole thing is with the Prime, you're getting 2 days shipping, and most of the time it's coming from their warehouse. That's how they can control that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's like you're not dealing with some other third person in this equation. It's going straight from Amazon. And you don't have to be Prime. You could use Amazon, but apparently not for Marvel movies.
I'm also waiting for 3 weeks for my fucking shit to get here. You ever see those dates when you don't have Prime? It's like, you should get it like in the middle of the summer. You'll get it by the 4th of July if you order it today. Like, fuck you.
You'd be lucky to get it by fucking middle of July. Exactly. But I mean, sometimes it works out good. You know, I mean, there's been times where things came in 2 days and I was like, yes. You know, so it's not a bad thing to get. But this is the funny part. Like, I haven't been buying Blu-rays. And the thing about it is, exactly, who is buying these Blu-rays? And if there are people buying the Blu-rays, that's cool. But I'm definitely not using their streaming service. Like, what is an Amazon exclusive on their fucking streaming service that I want to see? Please inform me. I don't fucking know.
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely.
It's like fucking Hulu. Take dumps better than the fucking shows they put on there.
Exactly. And it's probably more entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
For me, at least, it is. You know, maybe I enjoy it, but still, it's like, what the fuck, man? I just don't get it. Like, the only reason you would use Amazon, I would think, for most people, is like, yes, using it to get stuff shipped to you. But other than that, like, now you're telling me, like, for me personally, like, whether I had the Prime or not, oh, you can't get those movies. Oh no.
Oh no, it's the end of the fucking world. Like, we order it from somewhere else.
I just wouldn't. I don't know. I was never big into, like I said, I used to get DVDs, but I would buy them when they were like $3 for a movie that I loved. But now with, like, if I wanted to get something to watch on the 4K that I always like brag about, but if I wanted to get a movie like Braveheart or Saving Private Ryan, something that was remastered in 4K or whatever they did, you fucking spend $40 on that thing.
Exactly.
And how many times am I really gonna watch it? So if I watch it twice, I just spent the same amount of money to go to the movie theater.
That's
20
true.
bucks.
That's true,
So
and you
that's
probably have a
why I don't
better
get it.
experience. I mean, who knows? I haven't been to the movies in forever, but I mean, it's they're having a chokehold on this
Yeah.
fucking on people. They want people to sign up for their membership, and they're clearly gonna do anything they can, including throwing Marvel movies and Star Wars and fucking anything Disney. So it's pretty much like, even if you were like, oh fuck it, I don't want to see, I don't want to buy the Star Wars Blu-ray from them, or I don't want to get my Marvel movie from them. Well, guess what? If you have kids and you need to get them some kind of Disney movie so that they're not screaming like fucking nuts in the back seat of your car, you're buying the Prime membership. That's it. Oh, what? You're saying I can't order this? Any parent in their right mind is gonna do Prime now.
Just go drive to the
You
local
know?
store.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure Walmart has
But
all of this
Amazon always
shit.
gives you. I don't understand that. Yeah, I guess because they buy in bulk. Like, there's a lot more to it. Like, Trump's been yelling about them too, so it's kind of funny that they have been in the news getting a little negative publicity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You saw
exactly.
him talking about the way they need to pay more taxes, but they're kind of
Mm.
cocksuckers in the long run. The guy that owns it obviously is the richest man in the world.
Oh
Yet
yeah.
the median salary of the people that work there is 28,000 and change a year.
Oh
So
wow.
that means more than half of his current staff is making less than minimum. What's it called? Than the
Minimum
poverty
wage?
level.
Oh,
No, the
less than the
poverty level.
poverty
Yeah,
level.
so they're like, you know what I mean? They're not. They're living below the poverty line.
Yeah, I mean, well, for us in New York, that is like unheard of. There's no way you're
28K.
surviving on
No,
28,000 a year in New York. So,
no,
I
you got
mean,
to do
I'd
a
feel
lot.
bad for
Dual,
that.
it's a dual thing. Like you know, like yourself. Like
Yeah,
you got to work. You know, you got to work and put it together in a relationship.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
It's
there's
crazy.
very slim opportunities to do it on your own. You know
So
what I
it's
mean?
interesting. Yeah,
So
just
it
more
is
Amazon
interesting.
bullshit. That's the way I always look at it. It all circles around.
And it's
But
like a
fuck them.
fucking monopoly.
I use them, but fuck them.
Yeah,
I put it.
they're gonna be sending you fucking anthrax to your house. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, right. Fuck them too. I'll say it back to them.
Right here, Amazon. Go
You
fuck
know,
yourself. So for our viewers, fuck Amazon. Get that shit at Walmart or whatever the fuck we got going on here for your Prime bullshit. Yeah,
yeah. Let
whatever.
us know what you think. If you guys see it, like, what the fuck?
It's
Like I
fucking
said, does it
bullshit.
affect you in either way? I would assume most likely not.
Probably not. I mean, just to think that they're trying to put people in a chokehold like that. If you don't buy the movies, guess who's gonna suffer? Them in the end.
Yeah,
So
because
if
all I know is one person's gonna buy it and stream it on my box, and I can watch it whenever I want. So thank you,
absolutely.
one man out there who fucking bought it at Walmart.
You are the
Because
true hero.
yes, that's the man. I want to shake hands with you. That's the way I work.
Oh my god, that's so funny. So yeah, fuck Amazon.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on, we have
To
some
this-
sad news here. Actor Verne Troyer passes away at 49. And at first, when I first saw this, I was like, that's a shame. He was a good dude off screen. He could be an asshole in some situations I've seen before, but for the most part, he seemed like a genuine good person. Passes away at 49, which is relatively young. You know what I'm saying? And what's it called? The article covering this that we have on our podcast mentions an alcohol suicide attempt a few weeks prior. And first and foremost, before we go on with this, you got our condolences here at the Assassin Cast. It's a sad
Absolutely.
situation when you have to die that young. God takes you when He takes you, apparently. But reading this, I didn't want to feel like it was dirt thrown on his name. Like, we don't know if that's fact. And there's hasn't been any news revealing what killed him.
Mhm.
So I was thinking about adding this in here, more for the suicide side of things. Um,
Personally, I was worried
you could take it.
when I saw him pass away. I was concerned, especially with obviously we all know he was a dwarf and he was obviously
Yeah.
short. We saw him as mini me on Austin Powers, so I
Hmm.
was thought maybe he had a heart attack or something along those lines because that can happen. His body's under more strain than the rest of us would realize. But yeah, I read the same thing that you saw
Yeah.
as well, that maybe he was depressed and suicide was the culprit for it. Whether it is or it isn't doesn't tarnish anything he did in his career. But for me, if that opens eyes, people start taking it a little more serious because
Yeah.
we see it more and more now, man. When I grew up in high school, like I never saw any of that shit. Like we
Hmm.
didn't have fucking Facebook then. There wasn't all this bullying and stuff. And I'm not correlating that to anything that happened to Vern. But in the end, it's all about suicide. And if that is the case, and you see what happens nowadays,
Yeah.
man, It's no joke. Like that shit's happening all over the country.
I
So
mean,
if that is for him, if this opens the eyes and gets more, awareness, and hopefully helps people that need it the most, I'm all
yeah,
for it.
absolutely. I mean, there's no reason why you got to die. If you need the help, you need to get the help, plain and
Yep.
simple. And that's why I wanted to put it on the podcast, to be honest, because, it's not that it's throwing dirt on his name. I mean, clearly there was something else going on. Like we said, we don't know if it's fact, like, because we don't know really how he passed away. But to hear that happened a week prior, I mean, we don't know what kind of health situation he's in. So it's like,
Exactly.
you don't know if this guy's been suffering for the last months and months and months, or if he has made any appearances publicly. I mean, he could be hiding that shit.
Absolutely.
You don't know how somebody's suffering on the inside. So it's a sad situation, honestly. I think he's recognized as doing big things in his life. So I mean, from Austin Powers, they had what, two movies, I think. Austin
Yeah.
Powers, those
Well, I think he was
grossed.
in 3 of them, right? Wasn't he in all 3?
Oh yeah, all three. Yeah, I'm sorry. So yeah, they had 3 Austin Powers movies. They all grossed an incredible amount of money. He was in other movies also. There was one movie I was thinking about. I don't know. I might be confusing him with a different actor, but I thought he was in Cradle to the Grave, DMX. Wasn't he the ref? Or I could be
I
wrong.
don't remember.
No,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
that could be a different actor actually. But
The fact that you just quoted the DMX movie is a little more troubling to me as well.
well, I actually like that movie. That's a good movie.
I think you're just a closet DMX fan, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
You got you got a T-shirt on underneath and right
That's
now.
right.
Like what?
Ride or die. Yeah, I do. I like DMX. I'm not gonna lie. I love that movie though. That was a good movie.
And we just lost all of our viewers.
Hey, sorry guys. Don't let the fucking door hit you on your ass on the way out. Shit. All right. Anyway, actor Verne Troyer. Our condolences. It's a terrible situation, and honestly, if you have a problem with suicide or alcoholism or both, please go and get yourself some help. There's no
Absolutely.
reason why you got to suffer in silence. Reach out to somebody, because if you think they don't give a fuck, they do. Somebody around you gives
Absolutely.
a fuck about you. And in some certain situations, you might not feel like that, but they definitely do.
Yeah, there's plenty of help out there.
That's for sure. You know what? Maybe in the description of this video on YouTube, for our video viewers, I'll leave some sort of hotline so somebody could call and get some help. I think that would be a good thing to do. All right. Rest in peace. So we have, for our last movie topic, now this is an interesting one. We have Jurassic Park: The Fallen Kingdom. Now, it was an announcement with a trailer. It has a June 22nd release date. So this June it's coming out. And the quick explanation about this movie is there is an apocalyptic situation going on the island, and all the dinosaurs are going to die. And they're left with a moral choice to save what they created because it's a life form, or let them fucking die and die a horrible, miserable death, or whatever the fuck it is. What do you think?
Lie. You said a quick plot summary of the movie. The quickest would have been it has dinosaurs. There you go. Just another dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur movie. There you go,
Don't get me
ladies
wrong,
and gentlemen.
I'm a guy that played with a ton of dinosaurs as a kid. I still love them this day, but I'm like, come on. Like Chris Pratt's saving it a little bit. Like I told you, I was laughing at a couple of the comments, but again, I worry those will be the only comedic avenues that you saw in the entire movie. But yeah, I'm done. And I'm a huge fan of the original, and
Yeah.
I saw it getting watered down when this fucking T-Rex is walking through Los Angeles or San Diego, wherever the fuck it was, in the second one.
Yeah. Oh my
It was
god.
Done
Yeah.
then.
They have
Then
a.
they brought back Dr. Grant after that for the third one. Like, come on, man, get him in the second one. Why I gotta look at fucking Malcolm, whatever his fucking name is?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Life finds a way. Like, fuck yourself, man.
Oh
It
my
always pissed me
god.
off so much. They just did
So
not
true.
do it right.
They have
I don't
such a bad track record already. And like, what is this? The fourth fucking movie already?
Fifth, I think, technically.
Fourth or fifth? Like, come
It's the
on,
fifth.
man.
They made 3, and then they made the one that they just had with Chris Pratt. I mean, it was cool, at least. But like I told you, I remember reading the original books.
Yeah.
Like, right, and he did a phenomenal job, Crichton, on like breaking down the Raptors. They were a big part of the books,
Mhm.
and they never really jumped on that in the movies. They stayed more with the T-Rex because they thought that would be like
Yeah,
cinematically
because
what everybody would grab to. And then they tried to do the Raptors in the third one and this
Mhm.
newer one because he's like training them, but it was over. It lost its allure.
No, honestly, you're absolutely right. It's
The original was phenomenal, though,
I
in my
mean,
opinion. The original was great.
yeah. So real quick, that was what, like 95,
6, I think.
96, and
Yeah.
it was a great movie for the time. And you think,
Yeah.
okay, now they got some crazy CG and technology, they can make it look phenomenal, but it's like you lost your viewers in the fucking 90s. Like,
They
if
were
you
all old
can't
now.
do it, if you couldn't pull them in with the second one, and you can't pull them in with the third one and fourth one, you're gonna try and hit us with a
I'm sure
fifth
they'll make plenty of
Jurassic
money, though.
Park.
I'm not going to lie to you. They wouldn't have made a fifth. The fourth didn't make a lot. I'd have to look it up online to see what it grossed, but I'm sure they made plenty of money on it. But yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
me,
mean,
it's just like I'll see it, like I told you, but I'm not going to rush to get to a movie theater to see it. That's the type of movie I can chill. Like Infinity Wars is something I plan, and Deadpool too. Like I want to see in the theater. There are some movies I like that atmosphere in. Not many. I don't really go that much anymore. I most of the time just stream them because I'm like 60-inch TV. Just sitting in my
yeah,
fucking underwear watching on my bed is way better than a couple of strangers next to me and like a few friends.
exactly. Now they got the recliners and everything like that, but
Oh, they are pretty good, yeah. But again, now you're spending so much to go see it.
still, I don't even think it's worth
$22.
it. Honestly, I don't think this is one to go see. I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest, I didn't see the trailer. I just read an article. So, I mean, I actually heard the trailer while I was listening to something at work. But even hearing that little bit of commercial, it just didn't pull me in. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And honestly, I wouldn't even have known it was a Jurassic Park movie if I didn't hear the fucking music. I was
Yep.
like, is this supposed to be fucking Jurassic Park? And then sure enough, it's Jurassic Park coming this summer. Like, I don't know. It doesn't really look up to my par.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll circle back, watch the trailer again, and really maybe adequately look at it. But just the fact that it's like you're 5 movies deep, just some things are just meant to just leave it alone. It's like with the Ghostbusters.
This is a new thing though.
Everybody fucking hated the new Ghostbusters, and it had
It's a
nothing to
remake now.
do with women. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with
I
the
mean, they
women.
sucked. Don't get me wrong. They all sucked as actors in that movie, but in the grand scheme, yeah, they're just everything. They're trying to remake everything. Like I'm
It's
waiting to
it's
see like a new fucking Ghost or something. Patrick
exactly.
Swayze can't be in it because dude's dead as a doornail. But either way, like come on, like
CG
please.
Patrick Swayze in it, like as a
Nah,
ghost. Come
yeah, I
on.
don't need to see him. I'm gonna be honest. Like I can't look at somebody's shape in a fucking clay pot without getting a little misty.
It's just. Oh my god. I'm just like sick of having this shit on the
Yep.
goddamn podcast. I'm
It's all
sick of
remakes,
having
man.
it's remakes.
So the
Like, come up with something fucking new, you know?
it's the thing in the
Seriously.
movies now.
I mean, like, we don't have this on the list, but Ready Player One, I heard got good reviews, and I don't think there was a movie before that. I think they took the book and made a movie. Am I
Yeah, I think
right?
so. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's based on a video game from the Atari 2600, and obviously we're going into gaming anyway, so I might as well pull this out of my ass. But it had gotten good reviews, and that's an original movie. People liked it, and sure enough, they got a little cult following from it. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. This whole thing from taking
I
these
think,
older movies that were originally good and fucking destroying them to shit is not
I think
that's
Super
not kosher
Troopers
with
didn't
me.
do well either. We talked about that Super Troopers last week. I don't think
Oh
that did well.
yeah. Oh, I don't
I
think it
heard
did
people
well
say I knew a
either.
couple buddies that loved the original, and they're like I'm going to see it Friday. One of them texted me, "I'm with one other person in the movie theater right now." That's not so good a sign.
That is definitely not a good sign. You know what's funny? I should have put an update of what that grossed for this podcast to see, like, how much
Yeah.
money did they make opening day. But honestly, from what you're saying, there's
I mean, you
one
never know.
fucking person at a 7 o'clock showing. That's not good.
Yeah,
You know?
that'll be tough.
Oh my God, it's just something else. I mean, we already knew though if it got crowdfunded, it wasn't gonna be
Yeah,
something spectacular. They got
they were
their
expecting
diehard
it to do
fans.
well. I watched something. It was on one of the this Vice News that I watch at HBO when I get a chance.
Hmm.
And I was laughing. It was supposed to do well, but like well for what they put into it.
Hmm.
So I was like, eh. Like I told you, it lost its
Eh,
allure. It's like Dumb and Dumber 2. I didn't get read into
yeah, I
that
mean
either.
they waited way too long to put the second Dumb and Dumber out, so it's like,
Yep, it's their own fault. Fuck them.
well, I mean, what are you gonna fucking do? Unfortunately, this is the times we live in. Nobody's being creative anymore. You
Go.
know, they want to just build off an idea, but they don't just leave it alone. They should just let it be. Let it be a classic. You know.
True.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our movie topics for the week of April 16th. Um, so, if you guys are now tuning out, we will see you next Sunday. All right. Now, moving on to the gaming portion of the Assassin Cast. This next topic. I cannot wait to tear to fucking shreds. And you know why? I'm sick of hearing this fucking shit in the goddamn news now. This is mainstream news now.
Yeah, New York
And
Times.
on top of fucking article, on top of article, on top of article. I'm sick of this shit. All right. So, like, speaking of the New York Times, the article for April 19th, 2018 about Billy fucking Mitchell. Hold on. X world record Donkey Kong score being redacted from Guinness. Now, before you go off on this, let me just take this one real quick. All right. So now last week, after we did our podcast, I had started. This shit has been coming back up recently. This is an old thing that's been going on for a while. Okay. Now, Billy Mitchell is a fucking piece of shit. He's a scumbag. And now you could say, oh, you know what? The documentary King of Kong, they made him out to be a bad guy. No,
Just showed him who he is.
that's just him.
Yeah.
He's a fucking scumbag. Oh man, I don't want to get started with this. But now this is what's funny. Now the Times covers this article and they got a whole bunch of information wrong. I read through it. Now, first of all, Steve Wiebe, that had the score and lost it, he actually had the real score. We all know Billy Mitchell's a fucking fraud, right? He was the first one to get over 1 million. And they say, oh, he teaches math. He doesn't teach math. He's a fucking science teacher. I don't know why they said that to begin with. But, they got some of the information wrong. And so now let's just update the people that don't know this story real quick, and then I'll let Dan go off for a second, and then I will finish up with my fucking thoughts on this. But so now, for those who don't know, in 2006 there was a documentary called "The King of Kong: A Fistful of Quarters," and it moonlighted a guy named Steve Wiebe. He had the shit end of the stick his whole life. He was trying to do something with his life that had meaning, and he fucking practiced and he played and he submitted his high score to Twin Galaxies. Now, Twin Galaxies is the what's the word I want to use? They're like the law when it comes to high scores. It's like if you have a high score, you send it to Twin Galaxies, it gets reviewed, and then they will add you to the leaderboard or the scoreboard. And Guinness actually uses them to get their high scores for the world record. So, long story short, this documentary, it showed how much of a scumbag Billy Mitchell is. And I want to say, this is all recently. I think it was 2014. I could be wrong on the date. But after having a lot of people look into this tape that he sent in to have the high score, he didn't do it in person. It was shown that he was using a MAME emulator. So he fucking lied through his goddamn teeth, saying, no, I played this on an original Donkey Kong cabinet. He even had fucking guys go into Steve Wiebe's house and check his machine and take pictures. Who the fuck do you think you are sending somebody into somebody's house, first of all, with his fucking wife and kid there? I swear to God, man, I really fucking hate this dude. And that's just one of the reasons why I got fucking mad. But it's you send this guy in, and it's you're a fucking scumbag yourself, right? So the way it is it was shown that he had took a MAME emulator and he recorded it on tape and then spliced different runs together to make one good run. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So now we all know it's bullshit. We know his score is bullshit. And now it's all over the fucking news. He's trying to defend himself. Oh, this isn't true. I'm going to fight this tooth and nail. Like, you're a fucking scumbag. No one's going to take you serious. And he actually, this is, I don't want to say it's true, but he did it at the Tokyo Game Show. He got the high score on Pac-Man. And if you don't know about arcade cabinets, when you get to a certain point in the game, you get a kill screen.
Yep.
It's like there's not enough memory, there's not enough RAM to continue on. And then half the screen is bullshit and half the screen is the game. And they actually took his fucking score right off the Pac-Man world record. That shit is gone. All his all his scores got redacted, and that shit warms my heart. And you know what? You would think that Steve Wiebe would be an arrogant dick about it. He's not, man. He's the most humble fucking dude. He was just like, you know what? I know it was bullshit. I knew it was bullshit from the start. There was something not right. Like, he wouldn't play against me in front of people. He didn't do it in front of anyone. There was just something not right about it. Humble as fuck, man. Steve Wiebe, you got a fucking thumbs up from the Assassin Cast, man. Fuck Billy Mitchell. You could take it away. I'm sorry.
I'm more in shock at how fucking, like, I can't believe this is a thing.
This
like,
is a
these guys
fucking
are
thing.
arguing about a fucking Donkey Kong score. Like, I hate to tell you, like, besides, I did see that documentary, but in all honesty, I wouldn't remember either of the douchebags' names. Like, my fucking sleep will not be interrupted based off of what Billy the fucking Mitchell does on a goddamn fucking video game, or what fucking Steve Bag Weeby does when he's sitting at his house.
Leave Steve Wiebe out of this, all right?
I'm just making a point here, man.
All
I
right.
don't give a shit what either of them do on an arcade game that fucking nobody even plays anymore. Like, you know what? Like, get the fuck, do something relevant. I gotta listen about a fucking Pac-Man. You want me to shake your hand? I'd fucking dick punch both of them before I shake their hand. It's incredible. Like, I can't. I'm listening to you. I was just like, oh man, these guys, like, this is their life's accomplishment. That's your fucking life accomplishment.
Yo, no. Pump the brakes.
That
Pump
motherfucker has
the
a
brakes.
goddamn kid and a wife. Okay, now you gotta hear about his life accomplishment being the fact that he's got a high.
Listen. You watch the documentary, all right? It's not his life accomplishment.
Look at the guy Billy Mitchell, man. I gotta see a guy fucking playing this game in a tux. You tell me you didn't need to tell me that guy was a tool bag.
Yo, he's a fucking scumbag. He is the scum of the scum, honestly.
It didn't matter at that point. Like, I saw him, I'm like, Christ almighty, this guy's a fucking mullet away from dating his cousin. Like, you know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here. Like,
oh my god!
So, like, I watched this and I'm like, and they were going crazy over that. Like,
oh man, that's the truth. They were like
all about this.
It's like a boys' club. Dude. Listen, these are dudes that grew up in the '70s. Like, this is like their club, man. You know. Like,
I agree. You know what I mean. You get the high scores, like, you know, you got high score in Frogger or something. Like, cool, like it is. But if I got to see you fucking going and sitting down, giving like a life fucking coach job, like, you know what I mean, like a speech on how life you can beat adversity if you just play Donkey Kong. Like, get the fuck out of here.
He is the biggest piece of shit. I
just don't care about any of them, to be honest. Like I told you, redacted or not.
No, honestly, I'm glad this shit got redacted.
For a guy that games a ton, I do game a ton. Fucking give a shit. Who Twin Galaxies? I ain't sending you my high scores. Like, fuck yourself.
I mean,
like,
and the funny thing is, the guy that does the scores, he's in the fucking documentary. All right,
I remember them. Yeah,
he's got like boxes and boxes of scores, and you're telling me that fucking dude, he eats, breathes, and sleeps watching people play games. You're telling me he can't fucking make a mistake? Like, come on, man. Obviously, he let that shit slide. And you know what? It's not even that. It said that Billy Mitchell was he's a referee for Twin Galaxies. So it's like he had a fucking in on there. It was an inside job to begin with. But the whole fact that the New York Times is covering this is like, no one gives a fuck about Billy Mitchell anymore. Every time I see that motherfucker pop up on one of my Facebook groups I'm in, I'm just like, he's a fucking piece of shit. Like, oh my God. I can't. I don't want to hear about it anymore. He's a fucking scumbag, and he could take the fucking hot sauce he makes and shove it right up his ass. That's all I give a fuck. I don't. And you know what, Steve Wiebe, It's not his life accomplishment, Dan. All right. It's
Oh,
one.
here we go.
The
I was
guy.
looking over the right shoulder. I wanted to see a picture of Jesus and a picture of Steve Levy. Apparently, I didn't
Oh
realize he
man,
had such a hard-on for her.
I just think that like he had a rough fucking time. You know what? If that's what
Dude,
got him out of his
he's a
rough
fucking
time,
teacher. He's getting a pension.
yo,
He's
but
got
the
a
dude
gay
was out of
wife
work.
going.
Listen, pump the brakes. The dude was out of work. All right, he was having a rough time. If that's what he got to get, listen.
He was out of work because he lost the high score in Donkey Kong.
No, not because of Donkey Kong. Oh my God, hold on. Before you say anything, all right, he fucking had. He was down and out. He worked hard to get the fucking high score, and then he got back on track. Listen, if that's what he did to get his
so
life
he
together,
lost his job. He
whatever.
lost his job because he put too much time into Donkey Kong. But dude, like, come on, man. I'm not feeling sorry for either.
That's not what happened. We're giving false information out here. Listen, moral of the story is, fuck you, Billy Mitchell. That's coming from me. All right? Right here at the fucking Assassin Cast. Fuck you. Fuck you. All right. Moving on.
I'm sure he's watching.
He better watch this.
He's steaming his tux for the next game he's going to try and fucking accomplish. Fucking guy is such a tool. Oh my God.
Oh man, this is gonna be a funny rest of the podcast because the next two things are gonna be hysterical. So anyway, moving on here. Fuck Billy Mitchell. Moving on here. The ESRB is expanding their rating system to now include in-game purchases and giving parents a way to learn about what it is. Now, there's an explanation and thoughts. Should I explain what this is and what they're talking about?
Take it away.
All right, so a while back there was this thing about CS:GO. It was like Counter-Strike on the computer. It's like there was loot boxes, and what was happening is there was a separate website where you can upload what you got from the loot box. So if you got something that was a rare thing to get in the loot box, that's like maybe 1 of 1,000, you could sell it for real world currency. So now these fucking 13-year-old kids are now gambling on fucking a website using mommy and daddy's credit card, and they have no fucking idea what's going on. They're buying all these $2 loot boxes to try and get something rare, and then if they really wanted it for their character on Counter-Strike, they'll fucking go on this little black market website and buy it. You could actually trade what you have. So now this was a big thing. And honestly, I don't fucking agree with this, that this was even happening. But you got these two scumbags on YouTube that were pretty much putting up videos with those kids being their main viewers. And they were fucking advertising for the website that they own. They own that website where they could do this.
Yep.
So now this becomes a whole fucking big thing. They got Congress talking about what's going on with in-game purchases and how it's fucked up. Now, what's funny is the ESRB isn't a bad thing. It was made so that this shit doesn't go to Congress, really. It's to keep the government out of our fucking games. All right? It's bad enough that on our first podcast, we were talking about Trump and his violent video games to try and point the fucking finger at these kids getting shot up in a school. It's like now you got these in-game purchases that are just, it's slimy. Slimy shit.
All games, though, like, you know what I mean? Like I told you, I used to play Warcraft a lot. That's the type of game where people use currency to buy. They're doing that in all. I think you don't see that in Xbox and PlayStation, the games that we play. But as far as PC gaming goes, man, it's fair game. That's just been going on forever.
Exactly, but now
that's their own parents' dumb shit move.
Exactly.
Giving a kid a goddamn credit card for.
Exactly. It's not like how it was when we were growing up.
When I was growing up, it's like, I want money.
Yeah, give me the fucking cash. Exactly.
That's what my parents used to say. You ain't getting
exactly.
So, at least they get an idea.
Exactly. So now they got this thing to show parents what to look for to see if your 13-year-old is fucking gambling. That's wonderful. And it's like, it's really some shitty shit. Sorry, hold on one second.
But
I
yeah,
don't.
no, it's just them doing that, like you said. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess you want to keep more track of it because you don't know. But again, I don't know why there's just this free, open access to purchase whatever you want. Like the whole point of that is like, oh, I want to buy a fucking, something from inside the game. Okay, like, oh, I already have my parents' credit card on there. Okay, what's the security code or some sort of
Yeah, exactly. It's like they already
verification?
bought the game. It might be on file with Steam, and then sure
Oh yeah,
enough, they're able to do it. But, what I'm wondering is these in-game purchases, like, what is that exactly? What are they really referring to here? Is it like pay to play? Like where you get the game for free and then you got to buy all the shit to win the game. And like, how Star Wars Battlefront was all over the fucking, it was
yep,
all over the news. It's like, you don't want, like, they took out all that in-game shit because you couldn't get Yoda and Darth Vader. You'd have to do like something 150 hours worth of playing to get that shit, and it was like impossible. All right, so anyway, long story short, it's good that the ESRB is doing that, and
get you little pricks and fucking getting them
yeah,
so they're not what's it called, doing it again.
exactly. It's good that there's some sort of help for these parents that have no fucking idea that this is even going on. So that's
Oh,
good
we
for
we
that.
used to like. I remember like the we used to laugh. Like I play games that would cost monthly, similar to Warcraft. There's a game called Ultima Online
Hmm.
that we used to play, and we asked my parents. I mean, Christ, I had to be 12 at that time, like you're saying, 13 to get the
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
And we asked them to buy it, and we do chores, which we did. But we were like, oh, we'll just won't tell them that it's like a monthly 9.99 subscription. They'll never know. One payment. And
Yeah,
they fucking
exactly.
knew it was there, and then it turned into a monthly a set of chores to pay off. Like even though it was $10 to pay it, and we used to laugh like, "Oh, they'll never notice." Like, yeah, I guess I
Yeah,
wasn't born into that family.
exactly. I mean, it's just kind of funny that this shit even
Oh,
goes on, and like those
yeah,
dudes made crazy money off these kids. It's really a fucking
yeah.
shame.
This guy's fuck them.
Well, at least the ESRB is stepping in, and let's hope they do what they gotta fucking do so they stay the fuck out of our games, man. I don't want some censored shit going on. I mean, that's me. So, we got two topics left over there, alright? The last topic was Call of Duty Black Ops 4, so we will get to that. But
Oh,
first, we're gonna talk about GameStop and troll number two. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck you to the douchebag that I'm not going to even speak about right now. But GameStop, all right? It's GameStop and their terrible customer service. And my latest story and my fucking rant. I'm going to rant this shit about this. All right. So I texted you last night. All right. This is real life stuff going on here. All right. I texted Dan last night and I'm like, listen, GameStop has 4 for 10 on a bunch of shit. Xbox One, PS4, PS3, and 360, right? Which is good. So if you want to catch up on something you missed, or you want to get something new for, Xbox One, it's not really, out of the factory new. It's something that's been out for a while. You can get it.
it'd be like Witcher 3, be like something like that.
Yeah,
Something you get nice. Yeah.
exactly. So I go in there and I'm looking, and I've been collecting for PS3 now for a couple months. I've been really making headway with my collection, and I have a crazy backlog, so I'm not really trying to get a lot of stuff. But I got a text from GameStop saying that I get extra points, and I was like, you know what? Let me go in there. My girl's gonna be walking around the mall anyway. I can kill some time in there. So I go in there and I grabbed 4 titles. I won't go too much in depth, but I'm so close to completing my Assassin's Creed collection. I got the first one, which leaves only 2 more. One left. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 more. Two that's on the PS4 and one left for the PS3. So I'm almost done with that. And I also got God of War 3. Since the new one that just came out, we were talking. I
Yep.
want to just catch up and whatever. So anyway, I go up to the counter, and this is where the story goes south. Now, I've been in there a few times, and they had all of the PS3 games that were on the cheaper side on a big bin in the back. And there's still a wall, but it's slowly closing down to a little bit. And the mall location is fucking terrible. They have terrible workers in there, terrible customer service. They don't know their fucking ass from their elbow. Like, I could literally go in there and tell them things, they would have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So that's a bad sign. So anyway, I go and I bring those 4 titles up. One of the titles that I grabbed for the collection is Duke Nukem Forever. And you know what? I understand that it might not be the greatest game, but just for the fact that it's on the PS3 is awesome, so I got it. So now I go up to the counter to pay. Now this is what pissed me off. I give them the games, the empty cases, right? Now I got lucky. 3 actually had the original case, and I also got Mass Effect 2. That didn't have the regular case, which pissed me off, first of all. So I'm like, do you have the case for this? He says, nah, we don't have it, right? So then I'm like, okay, well, do you have like a empty, clear Blu-ray case? Thinking like I could just print my own for it so that it just looks good in the collection. He goes, no, sorry, we can't do that. So I look at this fucking guy and I'm like, you did this for me 4 other times. What? It's the same dude. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? So then I'm like, you know what? I just let it go, right? So this is what really fucking killed me, right? So he goes looking for all the games in the little fucking drawer behind the counter. He grabs the games and takes each one of them out of the paper sleeve and throws it on the counter. Throws it on the counter. Throws it on the counter. And I'm looking at this dude like, are you fucking kidding me? Throws it on the counter. Then he just throws them in the case, hands it to me, rings me up, and I leave. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, that was the worst experience I think I've ever had. Like, okay, mind you, it's 4 for $10. Okay, it might not be the most expensive games, but obviously if I'm going in there for PS3, it's for my collection. I don't want you fucking using it like a frisbee and throwing it around the GameStop before you give it to me. It doesn't make fucking sense. So I go out to eat, and then when I get home, I'm like, you know what? I saw him grab it with his fucking hands. Let me clean his fingerprints off of it. Listen, I'm like, let me clean the fingerprints off of it. So I'm going through each and every one of them, cleaning them, and they all just look like shit. I get to Mass Effect 2, it was fucking rattling around in the fucking goddamn case. It didn't even press it down into the holder. I'm like, this is fucking terrible customer service. And you wonder why GameStop is going to go the way of Toys R Us, honestly. It's like, and now mind you, the location across the street from the mall, way better people in there, but still, man, still.
Which mall, by the way?
This is in Massapequa. This is Westfield Mall.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to put those guys on blast now because someone's going to go in there like, you're an asshole. But it's...
people have to watch first or listen. So, yeah.
Oh, there's people that watch our podcast, so you never know. I mean, we don't know where they're at.
I was kidding. Most of the time, yeah, that's what I mean. You don't know. That's funny.
So, you know what? It was just a horrible experience. And, like, I don't want to go too much in depth about the last experience because it was like a fucking toy store in there. I won't go get into that either. But it was just horrible. And you know what? They're skating on very thin ice, as it is. It's like, you're going to be going the way of Toys R Us very soon. Everything is going to be digital. There's a few assholes like me and Dan that want the physical copy. But come on, like, very soon it's going to be digital only. So
I just laugh at you going in there to fill a fucking PlayStation 3 collection.
Yeah, listen, man.
I probably, if I was working behind the counter, I obviously would not throw the disc at you, but there would be a bunch of comments made to fuck with you as you were buying them. Like, Jesus.
Matter of fact,
PS3. Like, if you want, like, you don't need a case. I got extra rolls of toilet paper in the back that you can use.
Matter of fact, he looked at me and said, "Are you sure you want Duke Nukem?" I was like, yeah, that's why it's up there, you fucking idiot.
No, I tried to make sure. You look stupid, but I didn't want to assume it.
He was like, well, he's like, if you like the humor, then okay, but it's a terrible game. I'm like, just fucking ring up the goddamn fucking game and let me get the fuck out of here, like, honestly.
Better man than me. You know I would have made a fucking... people laugh at me all the time, but I made a scene. Just like when that douchebag hit me on the train. You let it go, or you can be a complete creepy motherfucker back, and I enjoy making somebody, like, uncomfortable.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's funny. Like, I just let it go because it's just not worth it. And honestly, the little...
not worth getting bailed out.
Our second internet troll today, I guess I had posted it up, and the second one was like, oh, I'm sure GameStop's going to be freezing in their boots when you put this up on your podcast. I was like, thinking in my head, like, I'm not even going to...
What does that even mean?
I'm not going to even
freezing in their boots? Was that literally what he said?
No, it's not literally what he said. He was just like, I'm sure GameStop's going to care that you're talking shit about them in your podcast. Like, I don't give a fuck what they think, first of all.
Again,
Second
Ted
of
from New
all,
Jersey. Fuck yourself.
yeah, Ted from New Jersey. Why don't you just go fucking jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, you fucking idiot? Like, honestly, I don't know. I don't even entertain it. But, you know, I had to
I
add
would
it.
like to be in charge of PR, so if you could send all complaints my way, guys,
That's
I'll
so
give you a
funny.
quick signature. I don't fucking care. That's why I do a podcast. Fuck you. Fuck your
Exactly.
opinion.
Yeah,
Like
we
a
don't
little
give a
fucking
fuck.
soft
This is
motherfucker.
New York, all right? Like, clearly, the retro group I'm talking about, it's like global, worldwide. But in New
Absolutely.
York, we don't give a fuck about your feelings, all right? Take your feelings and, you know, swallow it and get the fuck on the train and keep it moving, or go about your fucking business, because nobody gives a shit. And you're right. What's funny is my girl was like, she's like, oh, don't even entertain it. I was like, well, listen, if I tell Dan, he's going to go off on a fucking podcast. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not even entertaining that shit. But next time that shit
No,
happens.
I want all complaints sent my way so I can tell you motherfuckers how little I give a shit when you say, oh no, the company won't care what you're saying on your podcast. Motherfucker, the whole point is for me to give you my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And and when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. It's pretty simple. That's nice flow. We'll go right through it, guys. You got a
it's
problem,
not a
don't
hard
complain,
thing.
and I'll tell you the fuck off too.
Exactly. Welcome to the fucking Assassin Cast. Exactly. All right. So let's let it go. Moving on. The last topic, which is really something else. Honestly, it barely made the list because all right. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. It was announced. They have played it very close to the chest, and it has an October 2018 release. And there's already a lot of fuckery going on. All right. And you're going to hate this. So I had to throw it in on here. All right. No campaign. You cannot play campaign anymore. And their multiplayer is going through the ringer, as I put it in this fucking
I know what
list.
it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's going to be, there's talks of a battle royale mode like PUBG or Fortnite. My question was, are we going to rip this apart or let it live? Like, I don't know. You know, like,
I guess you can't really rip it till you see it. But I remember the original. I think it was on the first Xbox. I don't think it was even on the 360 when I remember playing it. That campaign blew. That campaign blew.
Yeah.
I remember it vividly now when I start thinking. I remember the original Black Ops sucking, but the multiplayer was legit.
I remember Black
really
Ops
was.
2 being better than the first one.
Yeah.
But it's not like Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare was awesome.
No,
that was a sick fucking campaign.
Those are the campaigns.
Yeah. So.
But as far as that goes, yeah, I don't. I mean, that's why even for me, you know me, like I said, I played Call of Duty with the World War II one, just because I like to play the campaign. I lost interest in just sitting there fucking constantly online, just doing that. Like the first person shooter, I got lost my allure. Because like I said, I got to remember, I was playing that back when it was fucking GoldenEye. Like,
exactly, me too.
Pre-gaming before going out.
Even before that with Doom and shit. You know, like we've been playing first-person shooters for a long time. So it's like, to me,
not that they're not good, but I play it more for the graphic.
I'm not really gonna hate on it because they're playing close to the chest, meaning like we haven't seen anything about it. So I don't want to talk shit right away. But I mean, a straight multiplayer base, like that's not cool to me. Like me, I'm not always on there online. Like I want to have a nice campaign. What?
Correct? Like this. Remember the Star Wars? What is it? Battlefront, right? Because I didn't play much of it, but I remember because somebody bitched that the original wasn't there no campaign in that. It was just straight online. Play much of it? I don't, because I remember I gotta ask. One of my brothers was a big Star Wars fan, and they wanted to play a first-person Star Wars game, and there was no campaign. I know the new one that came out does.
Yeah,
I remember
that has a campaign.
Absolutely does have a campaign. But I'd have to go back and look. But I'm like 90% sure that it did not have a campaign because I remember that being a very big sticking point. We were like bullshitting with my buddies and like family. They'd be like, "I don't understand."
Yeah, no.
I think because they rushed it, they jumped onto the Star Wars bandwagon, which makes sense. They probably made still a ton of money.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, I don't remember if there was a campaign in that, but to be honest, I mean, Call of Duty. I mean, I don't remember really the Black Ops campaign. I don't really remember that. I just know that Modern Warfare was great. You just told me that World War II was great. Yep. I don't know if it's the same people in head of, like, I don't know if the lead developer from World War II is going to be on Black Ops. I mean, I could have sworn in that article I attached to the topic list they were saying that it's the same developer from the Black Ops series.
Yeah,
So it might be a
that would
good
make sense.
installment for Black Ops, but I mean to take that out, that's not cool. And then to have this battle royale mode, like that's not that's not Call of Duty to me. Like, what are you gonna build a house in the middle of the fucking
It's
multiplayer?
a
Like
new thing now.
I don't get
New
it though.
multiplayer game.
I really don't get it. Maybe I should play Fortnite or PUBG and fucking take it
Yeah, I've
from
heard good
there.
things about PUBG, like I said, but that's more everything I've heard about it was PC wise. It runs
Yeah,
a lot smoother on the
I mean,
PC because again, it's like an MMO. You know, these games
yeah,
can't
yeah,
handle
yeah,
that
yeah.
bullshit. As much as people talk like they cannot. There's no
No.
server, and your internal RAM and hardwiring cannot handle. Like I remember Skyrim. I love that open concept. We always
Mhm.
talk about it, like what's called like sandbox play versus breadcrumb. So
Mhm.
having this open gameplay, but then when they tried to institute the online version of it, it had a lot of problems. Their server could not handle it because you got to remember a lot of these games like World of Warcraft, something like that, that's got all these followings. You got fucking, I think last I looked, there's probably 8 million people, something like that,
Yeah.
play World of Warcraft at its height.
Mhm.
So that's crazy, man. Blizzard was killing it then.
I
So
mean,
you
you
got to have
gotta.
servers that can handle it.
They definitely have servers, but we're talking about like Fortnite and PUBG don't have the greatest graphics. Like it's an art style.
Yeah, it's not meant for that. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you're
It's not.
talking Black Ops is like,
Is Counter Strike though? Counter Strike's fucking graphics are dog shit in my opinion too.
yeah, but I mean, if you look at the Call
That's
of
not what you're
Duty,
playing it for.
that's not what you're really playing it for. So I mean,
Exactly.
like
That was
building a
for online. Yeah.
like, can you imagine in the Modern Warfare, like you're walking through Iraq as the SAS or the Marines, and then you just decide to build a fucking house in the street? Like, I don't understand how that makes sense.
Sounds like
And
Minecraft.
that's what it really is. It's like
Yeah.
Fortnite is like you're building things, and I
No,
don't know.
different concept. I don't know.
I guess it's a different concept, but it's like don't jump on the bandwagon. Like if you're gonna make a Black Ops 2, I mean 4, I'm sorry, Black Ops 4, fucking make a Black Ops 4. And they said in the article that it's not gonna be like a 2065 setting. Like, you know, it took place in
Yeah.
2065. Like it's gonna be a more modern type of shooter, but it's not gonna be so deep into the future.
I mean, it
So
could be. You never know. I guess, like you said, they haven't really released much more about it.
yeah, we don't really know. We're not gonna know until we see it. So I don't know. It's hard to. I think we're gonna just let it live. That's
Yeah.
it. We'll let it live for now, and if we have to, we'll tear it to fucking smithereens. You know, like we do everything
Yeah.
else.
All that matters is fucking Billy Mitchell fucking vouches for it. It's
Oh
over.
my god! If Billy Mitchell goes anywhere near that, don't even bring that shit to the podcast. Seriously. So to end the podcast, fuck you, Billy Mitchell. Seriously, I might even make that the intro of this one. Fuck out of here. Get out of here. All right. So anyway, sorry for blowing out your eardrums, people. Okay, so we're at the end of the podcast for April 16th. That's it. We made it. We made it to the end.
We did it.
Another long, stressful week ahead of us, but we're on top of our game this week, so we're good. Quick announcements. I was supposed to do that video for the console cleaner. It's going to happen this week, I promise. I just didn't have time towards the end of the week. It was very crazy, so I will get that out there. Don't worry.
I know people. He breaks promises to me all the time.
Hey, no, I don't. Oh, if you're talking about holding the door on the train, that's a different story. Guy text me when I'm already in fucking on Long Island. He's still in Queens, Brooklyn. So for announcements, that's going on. We got that video coming. We obviously, I think we're one episode of the Assassin Cast away from chopping them into 2 parts. I'm thinking about 2 parts instead of 4 parts. It's going to be the movie side and the gaming side. And maybe on YouTube we'll make a playlist. And then the audio version will still be complete in its whole entirety. So that's really announcements for that. So we're one away from that. And what else was I going to say? Oh, please like and subscribe to our YouTube because we would like it and appreciate it if you did. We're trying to build our audience as usual. So please like and subscribe to our YouTube. And if you want to hear this audio version, you could hear us on Podbean, the Assassin Cast on Podbean. And we have our last 3 episodes up on there. So you can
Nice.
just listen straight through if you want. So
If not, fuck yourself.
yeah, and if you don't, we don't give a fuck. we will still be here next week doing this again. So fuck
It's a
you if
great
you don't
country.
want to. Yeah, I mean, we haven't heard anything about the expo yet. I'm gonna work to iron out those details, and I think that's about it. Oh, and the Avengers is this weekend, so maybe I'm pretty sure it's this weekend actually, right?
I don't. That's a great question. Something I'll have to look into.
We might
'Cause I
have that
thought
review.
it was next. Wasn't it the beginning of
I
May?
I could check real quick. It'll take a second. No, it's actually this weekend. I could tell already because today is the. We are recording. This is for April 16th. We are recording this on April 22nd. So, yeah. So it's gonna be this weekend. So maybe this upcoming podcast we will have our review for it. Maybe we'll go and see it. We'll see. Don't hold that to me, people. Do not.
Well, I'll see it, but
Well, I mean, I could maybe work that out. So we'll see. All right.
just ask the
So.
boss.
Yeah, maybe she'll. I said it to her today. I was like, "Listen, we're going to see this." She didn't really answer me, so
Yeah.
well, we'll see what happens. So now from Jeremy Malspina, my man Dan McCarthy, we're signing out.
Peace out, bitches.
Peace.